All right, folks. My name is Seabass, and I am the trainer here at Simply Computing. And I would like to thank you for joining us for today's Simply at Home seminar about home automation. Hey Siri, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey Siri, turn on the Apple TV. Hey Siri, turn on the big light. Hey Siri, turn off the fans. And hey Siri, turn off the big light again. Hey Siri, turn the lights blue. Hey Siri, turn the lights red and turn it all the way up.
One of the devices didn't respond.
Hey Siri, turn the lights red, please. Thank you. Awesome. And Siri, turn up the lights all the way. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us here. We're going to have a great seminar today. But before we start, I would love to introduce our president of Simply Computing, Marja Smith. Come on in, Marja.
Hello. Thank you very much, Seabass. Thank you to Seabass. He is our most amazing trainer here at Simply Computing. You are so lucky to have him in this webinar. He hosts amazing webinars. He does amazing in-store training. He does amazing in-home training. I just wanted to briefly introduce myself. My name is Marja. I am the president of Simply Computing. You can guess which one is me. I am one half of the Simply sisters. My sister Amanda isn't able to be here today, but I did want to come and thank you for attending our webinar. Maybe you're watching it on our YouTube channel, maybe you're watching it on our website, or maybe you're here live. I just really wanted to thank you for attending and for all of your support over the last almost 40 years that Simply Computing has been around. I just wanted to say a brief moment about, in a world of faceless corporations, Simply Computing, we really pride ourselves on having that connection with our community and with our customers and providing valuable content so that you know how to use your tech the best possible way. I really wanted to thank you again for attending and for all of your support. Make sure you stick around to the end of the webinar. We're going to have a great giveaway. We've got all of this amazing Eve product that we're going to be doing draws for, but in order to be eligible, you need to make it to the end of the webinar. And I just wanted to also drop a quick note that we have got 25% off all of our in-store Eve product until August 26th. So make sure you visit your local Simply Computing store. If you're in Vancouver, you can come in, you can meet Seabass, the most amazing fish in the sea that is Simply Computing. And you can get all your training needs and technology needs here at Simply Computing, where we really value you and your support. So thank you very much, Seabass. Enjoy your webinar. We're going to learn tons of great stuff about home automation. No matter what Siri's up to, she'll usually get it on the second try. So thank you.
Thank you, Marja. That was our El Presidente, Marja Smith. And thank you for being an awesome leader. And all right, so without further ado, you noticed a few moments ago that I had used Siri to perform some automations here and using Siri, the assistant, to kind of get some of these things up and running. But we can also use the home automation from our watches, our phones, our iPads, and we got a lot of great Apple products here at the shop that kind of helps integrate a lot of this stuff in here as well. So without further ado, I'm just going to do a quick little zip here. First off, we're going to talk about HomeKit, or the Home app on our devices. The Home app is kind of like the bread and butter of Apple's home automation system. It is what integrates your products into your HomeKit environment. It allows us to kind of manage the home that we're in, and also a remote home. So if you've got a place, you know, a cottage or a summer place or something like that, you can use this to manage those homes remotely as well. So the first thing we're going to start off with is we're going to talk about some of the different types of products that we have available to us. So there are a lot of products. So as Marja had said, we've got the Eve Home products. We have the Philips Hue products for lots of lighting and some other goodies in here too. The types of devices that we can add to an Apple home environment are things like sensors, lights, security devices such as locks, cameras, window and door kind of sensors, but they kind of fall into the sensors area. We also have some other types of devices like temperature controls as well for the environment. Some of those things might be very handy in these days with fires and air quality kind of being up and down. These could be some important products to kind of help automate your setup. So without further ado, we're gonna just pull up a chair here and we are going to show you some of this stuff on the Apple iPad, which I have set up here, kind of demonstrating our what we've got set up here in the shop. All right, so I'm just going to start sharing the iPad here. All right, so one of the first things here you're going to look at is this is the Home app on an iPad, sorry. And so the first thing I want you to know about is there's a little device in the top corner or a little menu that looks like a sidebar. I'm going to click that, and this kind of gives us a little bit of a layout of what is in our home. So first thing is this. When you are starting off with the Apple HomeKit, we need to start off with creating a home. So the home, in this particular case, you'll see in the top left corner is called Simply Demo Room. And the Simply Demo Room is this particular room, and we're going to treat this room like it's a house. The next thing that we are going to add is they're going to be, once we have the home set up, you need to set up rooms, add your devices to those rooms, and then we can start doing some very cool setups in that regard. So I want you to note on the app here in the top right corner, there's a little plus symbol. When we select this plus symbol, this is how we can add the various things to the Apple Home app. So for example, we can add an accessory, a scene, the automation, and add a room, and we can also add people. So that way your home environment is secured and unauthorized people are not going to get into your business and start, sneaking around on cameras or freaking you out by kind of taking you out, playing around with the lights on you. So this all starts off with adding a accessory to it. So what I'm going to add right now is I have in my hand an Eve Energy, and all Apple HomeKit products have a little barcode on them. And what's going to happen is this: in the boxes, you will have a little barcode, and you will hit the plus button. You will select Add Accessory. And then this little camera pops up on the iPad. Now you can either type in the code or you can scan this. Scan away, and you'll see Rob's fantastic legs there as we're doing this as well. So there we go. That is a little barcode, and it is added. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And so we're going to add this to our setup. Hit Add to Home. Now, first thing that I missed is I'm going to plug this in. There's a power bar just down by Rob. Get you to plug that bad boy in there, my friend. And once that is plugged in, this should start to talk when the light is green. It's running lean and mean. And yeah, okay, that's added. Excellent. Close by. We're going to try that one more time, because I was supposed to have that plugged in first. Let's try that one more time. Add accessory. Scan the code. And we're going to add the device to the setup. Okay, awesome. That is in. We've got that in as well. So is this one's going to show up as the Eve Energy strip. And so what that basically means is once it is added, you will see the devices popping up in the list. What happens now is you will have to add this to the particular room that you have set up. Now, in my particular case, this room, the Simply Demo Room, I have called it the living room. And you will see all of the devices right here, like the Hue light strip, the Hue light strip, the home theater, which is our devices like HomePods and things of that nature, this is where they will show up. You will also see that I have a second room set up that has another device called the sales floor. That's the name of the room. And there is a HomePod mini out there. And these are great products for your home because they do act as a hub. Now, the reason why that's important, the hub is important because this acts as our device that's always on, so that the home, unlike an iPad, if it runs out of battery, you suddenly can't run your home. If you have a HomePod, an Apple TV, or a HomePod mini, you will be able to basically use these devices and in either home, and you'll be able to work with them. There's a couple of added benefits with the HomePod and the HomePod mini. In the recent update or in these new products, Apple has added the humidity sensor and the temperature sensor. And if you add these to different parts of your home, we can use these sensors to kind of trigger certain types of events or automations. We'll get back to that in a moment. The other thing that you can add as well is an Apple TV. The Apple TV acts as your home theater, and it acts as a bridge to the rest of your home automation as well. And we can use that to view cameras, and we can use it to control some of our automations and our scenes as well. Next, we do have, and let's just give you an idea here. You'll see on the screen there that I have the home theater, which is the Apple TV, which is part of this. And it will show either the different types of, well, this is my favorite song. So if I hit play on this, the home pods in this room will play my favorite tune. Excellent. And so I can control it from here. Additionally, you also might notice that as far as an Apple TV is concerned, if you can see it, is there's a little remote just to the left of the play and the rewind button. If I select this, this is the Apple remote that would control the TV. So I can decide or use the Apple TV in a number of different ways. And if you've got multiple TVs in the house, or sorry, Apple TVs, you will be able to pick which one that you wish to control. Great, so that's my favorite tune over there. And you will also notice there's a HomePod mini on the sales floor as well. Each of these can be playing their own content as well, so you can control these accordingly. Additionally, one of the cool things that I really like about the HomePod is that there is an intercom feature. So for example, if you got a few of these in the house, you can basically say, hey, Siri, intercom the sales floor. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri, intercom the sales floor.
It's 21.9 degrees Celsius.
Siri, I love you. Ideally, though, what this would happen if I were to say, hey, Siri, intercom the sales floor, I could say something, and then that room, in that room, the HomePod would announce, hey, guys, it's time for supper or anything else like that. So very cool products and kind of necessary for home automation. The next thing I would like to show you here is if you look on the screen, I am going to pick the actually, one more thing. You will notice at the very top of the screen, you'll see simply demo room. And underneath that, these are the quick little buttons here to find out what types of things or devices are in your room. So I've just chosen climate. And in climate, in this room, we've got a number of sensors. One, we have the temperatures and humidity sensors in the HomePods, and we have an air quality product that's called the Eve Room. And this one is going to look for things like, hey, did you just burn a pot on the stove and you've got a smoke-filled room or something like that? Then this will basically alert you on your iPhone or on your devices. And then if you have an automation set up, that could be used to turn on the fans. Now you'll notice I have two fans listed here. If I were to click one, that turns the device on. Or if I have Siri connected, I could say, hey, Siri, turn on the fans. Awesome. Hey, Siri, turn off the fans. Awesome. All right, Siri, you did a wicked job. All right. So that's some of the climate ones, but I also want you to note here, you've got lights, you have security products, in which this happens to be an Eve cam that I have up above the TV. It too is also a motion sensor. You'll see the rest of us here in the room, so don't judge. And if I were to choose that, I will have a larger picture as well. Now, the Eve cams have a couple of neat features on them as well. They have a microphone in it. They also have a speaker in it. So if somebody is poking around in your house there, you can kind of give them a stern talking to. Or if your cats are being unruly, you can kind of give them a little bit of a talking to as well. And okay, last but not least, we also have the speakers. And this is going to list all the rooms, like the living room, Apple TVs and HomePods. And then last but not least, there is a very unique sensor from Eve Home called the water sensor. The water sensor is kind of a really big deal these days. Whereas, you know, people and renters, you kind of need something like this, because if you have a water break in your apartment and you're not home, that could be sitting there flooding your apartment. And more importantly, well, actually your neighbors downstairs as well. And that can be a real hassle with insurance and the like. So having a sensor like this around your dishwashing machine or your laundry machines, this is a great way to kind of have, you'll get an alert so you can take action right away, or call somebody who might be at the house to kind of set that up. All right, so that's a little bit about the devices. So I'm going to go back to the home side of things. So what can we do with all these devices? Well, we can do certain things, and it's important to note we have rooms and we have scenes. Rooms are the rooms in your house. In my particular case, the living room and the sales floor. If you have different lights in different rooms, you can actually selectively go, hey, Siri, turn off the lights in the living room. And you'll see that all the lights in the living room have turned off, but just the lights. Hey, Siri, turn the lights on in the living room. And all the lights have come back on. So you can address using Siri, you can give it instructions for a certain room, or you can use scenes that we have listed above as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that now. Scenes are a collection of automations and scenes that you can use to trigger a certain action. The scenes are essentially something where you can basically say, good morning. You know, so if I were to say, hey, Siri, good morning, all of my lights would come on because and you'll see that the scene turns on. And that way, so if I get up in the morning, if I have different products on, I might want my coffee maker to start. So that's kind of an important one for me. So I got to have my coffee or I'm just not right as rain. The other part is if I'm leaving home, right? Hey guys, or hey Siri, I'm leaving home.
Setting the scene. Safe travels.
And if I'm arriving home, hey Siri, I'm home. Awesome. There we go. Arriving home comes on. And one of the things that I also like, so you can create a scene any way you want. Let's say you're going to have a movie night and you can select every single room that I might want to work with. So you'll hit the little plus button up here. We're going to select add a scene, and I'm going to call this movie. And now we got to add the accessories that are going to be a part of this scene. So this is where we can essentially go, all right, well, I want the Eve light strip to be a part of this. I want well, actually, maybe the cool Philips light strip on the TV, which is a very cool piece. So I can choose these, select the accessories that you want to add to this scene, and you will see now that this scene I got the Eve light strip and I've got the Hue filament bulb in there. And when I select done, you will see that a new movie scene pops up, and this will basically automate it. So if I were to say, hey, Siri, it's movie time, you can do that. Or if you don't have a HomePod in, or you're not comfortable using Siri, your Apple Watch, your phone, and your iPads can all be used like this to start or to trigger the scenes that you want. Hope that makes sense. Now, the other cool part, hey Siri, turn off the fans. Yes. The other thing that we have available to us as well in the HomeKit is automations. Now, automations are kind of a cool thing because these are the type of things that you might want to have happen when you are away. So for example, in my house, I have an Eve flare, which I absolutely love, creates a great room ambiance in there as well. And I also have my fan in my room as well. Nice big Monster Honeywell one. Noisy as heck, but it's awesome. And what happens is this. You'll note here in the new automations, we got a couple of cookie cutter ones here. When people arrive and when people leave. So when I get home, the first thing that happens, the Eve flare turns on my at my house, and the fan will also come on because it's a hot day as well. That happens when I get home. But when I'm leaving, because I have my Apple Watch and my Apple phone with me, when I leave, those lights will turn off, and I can kind of set those up just like so. The other thing that we can do is there are a number of different sensors from Eve Home, things like the temperature, HomePods that have temperature and humidity sensors in there as well. You can set something like this up, and I'm going to select a sensor detects something. So great. Well, what kind of sensors do I have? Well, I happen to have an Eve door and window product that's up on the door. So if this door opens up, I might want the Hughes lights to turn on. And if I have, let's say, a light sensor or another motion sensor, different things can happen. So like if you pull up to the front of your house with the car and that motion detector senses you, this will turn on. The other thing is you will see the humidity sensors and the temperature sensors. So let's say I use one of the temperature sensors on the home automation. I could select next. And then, well, once you have a sensor, we're basically looking at this and saying, hey, if it hits a certain type of temperature, we want it to do something. So if it hits, let's say 24 degrees, pardon me, then what do we want it to do? We want it to potentially turn on the fans. So if I select the fans and then select next, we want these to turn on in this particular automation when it hits a certain temperature. Okay. Hey Siri, turn the Apple TV off. Okay, and Siri, turn the Apple TV on. Sorry, folks, it was just had to have a Siri fun. So once this automation is done, you will then select done, and this automation will kick in if this room hits 24.5 degrees Celsius. Another thing that's really cool with these lighting, these sensors in particular, is one of the things that I kind of like is that Eve room. Like I said, if it's really kind of smoky out, we've been experiencing some fires and things of that nature as well. And if we got some of our elderly family members and whatnot, these will be things that can be linked to a fan, so that if a certain situation happens, they can basically, this fan will kind of take care of itself. All right, so that's a little bit about the automations. And let's see here. All right. So we talked about the scenes, we talked about adding accessories, and one of the things that we do have as well, we're gonna start moving this around a little bit. I'm going to show you a couple of products here. Well, the ones that I'm really stoked about are the lighting products. As I said earlier, just stop that. Okay. I myself personally have 2 of these Eve flares in my home. So they're pretty awesome in that regard. And I also have a lot of these Eve energies. There we go. Oh, I can see myself. I think it looks like it's proper. So the reason why I really love these Eve energies and also the Eve energy strip is that I can plug these things into anything. If I plug a fan into this, I can just put it into a wall socket, add this to my HomeKit, and then I might plug a fan into this, or like me, I plug my coffee maker into it. So at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm waking up to a fresh cup of Joe. One of the other ones that for folks that really want to kind of look at the security side of things, the Eve camera is a fantastic product, and it's got a few different sensors built into it as well. It has the motion sensor built into it, and it has the a microphone and speaker. So that would be a fantastic product. And again, you can use your Apple iPhone to reach this, your iPad, and things like that as well. The other thing as well is the Eve. Oh, here we go. The Hue. Ah, there we go. Hue products. We've got a number of different types of lights from Philips Hue in here as well. But in order to make the Hue products work with Apple HomeKit, we need one more device. So if you are interested in the Apple Hue, sorry, the Philips Hue, we want this product. It is called the Philips Bridge. It is what brings the Philips accessories and integrates it into Apple's HomeKit environment. So an important one to have if you are interested in the Hue, Philips Hue products as well. We got lots available in stock and a lot of really cool pieces to check out. So do pop in the store. One of the things here, if you do decide you want to pick up some of these Hue products, as Marja mentioned earlier, I am a Simply at Home person as well. So you can kind of come in and book me for a little help on site. So pop in, and some of the other trainers around the different stores might be able to help you out with that as well. So wherever you're from, whether it's North Van, Kamloops, and all our great locations, you can book some help and a little bit of TLC to get this stuff up and running. Okay, with what are we at here? Well, 11:30. Okay. Now,
share a few anecdotes of where we've, from our customers and from yourself personally, where we've seen home automation products make their lives a little easier. Like I know for myself personally, I've really enjoyed having some automation on this very awkward light I have in my apartment. It involves me sort of leaning over a few things to turn it off. I grabbed myself an Eve energy, and now I don't have to do that, and I simply do it through the HomeKit. So these little things really are making our lives a little bit easier. I had another customer sort of reference the temperature controls. So Seabass sort of spoke a little bit about it before, but the HomePod has the built-in thermostat. You can actually use that temperature to create automations. And what this customer was doing was, once the internal temperature of the apartment reached a certain volume, it was turning the fans on, which was better for her animals while she was at work, and she could sort of maintain a more comfortable environment for them. I thought that was a very clever way of, you know, looking after your pets a little better, and using this technology to kind of make your life easier and in a way you couldn't before. So.
Well, one of the things that I really liked about the Eve Energy one as well is, how many of you out there have fumbled to turn on your Christmas lights? It's a little thing, but man, it's like, hey, Siri, turn on the tree. You know, I don't know about you, but where my plug is, it's behind the damn tree. And man, is that a royal pain in the butt to try and get at.
I couldn't find that in your Apple Music one. You can ask me to play a radio station or
Right.
ask for your music on a different app.
Hey Siri, turn off the big light. So the Eve Energy Strip is a fantastic one, but the other one that's also really amazing is, incidentally as well, we've got these in two packs and 3 packs as well. Eve Energy also makes a the Eve Energy Strip. This is like having 3 of these Eve Energies on one power bar that you can address. You can address each one of those ports individually. And for example, turn that back on. Sorry, folks, just getting my screen on. There we go. All right, so in this particular case, like the Eve Energy Strip, I'm going to choose this one right here. And as I was saying earlier, I have a fan, 2 fans connected to this and that big light. If you name the accessories, particularly with these energy strips, you'll see here that I have fan number 1. I have a light that I plugged into it called Big Light. And then I have fan number 2. And long and short, so if I want to say, hey, Siri, turn on fan number 1, this will turn on
it.
fan number 1. So I
Your
can,
fans are taking a while to respond.
yes, they are. Hey, Siri, turn on fan number 2.
Sorry, I don't recognize your voice. You can turn on voice recognition.
So we see we got the fan number 2's finally come on as well. So the long and short of with this is each one of these outputs, if you name it something like coffee maker or anything else, and that's kind of an important thing with the with any of the power products, whether it's from Eve Energy or any other products. If you name them, they will be able to activate them. Okay. There is a few other things that I might suggest as well that can be found for home automation. I know our owner has a number of, like, you can get some different types of product that he also enjoys, things like locks and some other security devices. We got lots of folks, our customers have maybe different properties and stuff like that as well. This allows a little bit of ease of use from your device to get into the different places we have, whether it's a shed or a garage or things of that nature. There is also a few other products you can get to that might be window drapes, automated drapes that can be opened up based on the temperatures from a home pod. And there's one other one. We talked about the water one, and the locks, window and door sensors. What I want to see, so right here. So Marja, if you could do me a favor, could you open the sliding door for a quick moment?
This one?
You betcha.
Yes, I can.
Okay, and we're going to close it.
I'm confident.
In the security section, thank you. You will see that up the very top here, we've got the Eve door and window. It's a contact sensor that's on there. And let's give that a whirl one more time. If you want to open that up for me there. Yes, please. You'll see that that door sensor suddenly changed. Okay. So if you have a number of these, and now I've only got one here, but this could be an important thing for if you've got kids, we can shut the door, and you'll see the door will go to closed.
Nice.
Why this is cool is this is an example of a sensor. Let's say the kids are home from school, they're 13, 14, young adults, and you just need to know that they finally arrived home. This is a quick way to find out, one, has the person who's supposed to be coming home, are they arrived and whatnot. This can also be used to let you know that maybe somebody's breaking into your apartment in, your remote place or something like that as well. When something like this happens, I got one customer who had a really cool way to set up an automation where that if after a certain time, let's say it's 12 o'clock at night, everybody's gone to sleep and whatnot, the Eve doors are set to after 12 p.m. If a door opens, take this action. So if somebody's come in and they're not supposed to be, all of the lights and colored lights in their home suddenly turn red. That is a very cool and powerful automation. Additionally, if you have home pods in the home as well, this gentleman happened to put a sound file or a music saying like, danger, wake up, something like that. You can add audio to these types of things as well, where you will see like alarms or play a certain sound when that something's going on. So it's kind of a neat way. I haven't tried it personally, but it was a really cool way to add a little bit of security to that as well. All right, and what are we looking at there? So 9:41. So we're almost done here, and what I'd like to, we're going to open this up for some questions now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and there we go. All right, so let the questions come flowing in.
Nice. So not too many at the moment. Kathy's put one forward, and Kathy has asked the question: does the Eve security camera stream all the time, or does it turn the stream off after a minute or so? My ADT cameras turn the streaming off
after less than a minute,
so I can't watch the camera continuously. If I wanted to watch the camera stream for several minutes to see if a courier had arrived, the ADT cuts out, which is really bad.
That's a great question. So for the camera products for Eve, let's get that back on the screen here because I can show you where those settings are. So if you look on the, we're going to go to the living room. We're going to go into security. Go home. And if we go to the very tippy top there where it says security, we're going to choose the camera. And if I choose the camera here, you're going to note in the top left corner is a little gear. And when we select that gear, not that one, back one, accessory, where's the camera? Camera. Oh, right there, of course. And you get into the settings on this. There we go. So I want you to note here, this is the Eve camera. And what we are interested in is the accessories, or sorry, the different options that we have. So specifically, when motion is detected in the living room, we can control a few different things. So for example, the status, and what you had asked for was the recording options. So for example, we can either stream and or record. So for example, when the motion detector does detect something, if you have an Apple iCloud account and you've got storage, whether it's 50, 200, or 2 terabytes, these can be streamed accordingly, right? So for example, if this detects activity, do this. And so in regards to like if a courier is coming to your door and you needed to find out if they dropped something, or if you've got somebody you know in the neighborhood who might be poaching your stuff, well, then this is where we will make those choices. So for example, if you just want to stream it, we check stream. If you want to do stream and record, we select this one, but it does require an iCloud account that does have some storage on it. So if you do decide to use that, you can go back and review it, but the device is only going to record when it gets activity. There we go. I hope that helps. But on every single device, whether it's a camera and the like, you select a device, and you will have this little cog up here, and this gives us all the different things that we can do about this device, including, status lights and the like. Oh, sorry. Get my face on there. And one more thing here. This is also where you can go in here and actually name the device. And this might be kind of handy, especially as you start to accumulate a lot more devices. But yes, to answer your question, yes, you can do that and get those recordings done as well. Hope that helps.
Awesome, Seabass. No, that's great. Also looking at those Eve settings there as well, I noticed that you can actually set the camera up to have facial recognition, which if we talk about, we'll start to think about how we can use some of those features to trigger automations.
That's right.
Another great one that you can leverage, once it recognizes my favorite song,
Life's just how I like it.
yeah, it starts to get the mind thinking that all of these little tools do integrate with each other in some capacity. And the Eve Cam, it has some really great features built in.
So we have another great question from Mike. And I really like this one.
And I think you'd be the best person to answer it. So Mike's inquiring, with the Eve Flare, is there a way that it can be programmed to be used as a sunlight alarm?
A sunlight alarm.
Slowly getting brighter.
That's right. So that can definitely happen. There are some products. Now let's going to go back out of here for a quick moment. So this is where kind of scenes kind of come in, and it's a type of scene. But I want you to note here in this particular Eve light strip, you will notice that there is a little, this one. And what this does, this particular symbol on the accessory will adapt this light depending on the time of day and the lighting in the room. So you're right, Rob, that is something that can definitely be set up on these as well. And it is another type of automation that can be added with the lights. For example, in this particular automation, let me just do that again. I have the Eve light strip up. And you'll notice at the very bottom one down here, it says automation. And when I hit automation here, you will have a time of day occurs. This is one such way to do it, but there is also another one that is part of the lighting effects here. So you see where I've got different colors that I can choose here. I can edit and deal with those colors right away, or that little icon here with the sun, that will adapt the light throughout the course of the day. And that can be done individually on certain rooms, depending on what you would like to get done. But it is essentially that little button right there on almost all of the lighting products. You'll see it's the top left out of those grouping of buttons. That's a good one too, actually.
Thank you, Seabass.
Brilliant answer, Seabass. Brad Crittenden has a question next, and Brad's quite rightly noticed all of the technical problems seem to involve Siri. Is reliability good otherwise? I certainly can answer that a little bit, Seabass, before you begin. I've always found Siri to be right about 90% of the time, Brad. It has gotten better over the years. Often the products themselves are very reliable, so if you do encounter a command that just isn't going through, opening up the home app and sort of manually clicking the buttons will always get there. The beauty of this equipment is it's sort of a set and forget. So once you've put in those automations and those scenes, you actually find yourself engaging less and less with Siri and the home app, because that configuration sort of represents how you want to use your tech and your products every day. So investing that time to get it set up is really, I found it to be very beneficial. And generally speaking, I'll ask Siri to put songs on Apple Music, and she's quite good at that. So yeah, it's far from perfect, Brad, but in the most part, the products themselves are very reliable, and using the home app can sort of address some of those issues too. I don't know if you'd have anything to add.
Yeah, I know when I first got my setup, you do sometimes kind of have to enunciate a little clearly sometimes. It is generally pretty good. So like, even if I say something like, hey Siri, good night, you will see that all of my things turned off with the exception of those two because I've got them physically turned on. Now, if I say something like good morning, you will see, hey Siri, good morning. You will see that all of the lights are going to start to turn on.
Setting the scene.
And including my fans. Now, you do have to kind of enunciate sometimes. So for example, in the living room, you'll see an Eve light strip. So if I say, hey Siri, turn the Eve light strip off, you'll see that the Eve light strip turned off. So it's really important when you are putting these accessories and scenes and automations in to kind of keep the labeling simple. So for example, if I were to change the name of that Eve light strip to, let's see here, we'll call this, oh no, let's see, let's call it test. That's an inventive name. All right, so I've named that test, and you will see now, if I say, hey Siri, turn on test.
Sorry, I couldn't find it at home.
The big thing is to make sure that you give them realistic names that Siri can deal with. But I do have to admit, I use Siri just to kind of trigger the scenes for the most part, because I really want to kind of keep it simple as far as that's concerned. Where I use this the most is from my phone, my iPad, and my watch. But the scenes, you do have to kind of practice them a little bit. But the ones that are already set up in Apple's, like the arrive home, leave home, good morning and good night, they are generally pretty reliable for the most part. I hope that helps.
Brilliant, Seabass. Thanks very much. David Druck has asked the question, are there reliable drape controllers for use with HomeKit? I sort of can touch upon that a bit, David. I've seen an Eve product and drape controllers. I would say from looking at them, I've not purchased them personally. There are some nuances with the size of drapes that it accommodates. So you'd want to make sure that your window space and the drape that you have will retrofit to it, but there's a few out there. Eve certainly make one. I have a colleague that purchased it, enjoyed the product, said it was great, but you do want to make sure that it will work with your existing drapes. Or if you were looking to purchase new ones, then just make sure you get the right ones for the Eve product there. But it works really good, and I must say there is something quite futuristic and awesome about opening and closing your drapes through home automation. So yeah,
Very
have a
much.
look at that Eve product there, David.
What I also might suggest too is if you are looking for some of those products, maybe it's not one that we have. One of the most important things when choosing your accessories, if you're going to use it with the Apple environment, is that they have this particular icon on it. Right here, we're looking for this little badge called the Apple HomeKit. Okay, if it doesn't have that, it may or may not integrate into the Apple HomeKit. It doesn't mean you can't use it through Bluetooth or some other method, but the ones that we are interested in is making sure that it is Apple HomeKit certified. Can you see that okay on the screen? Mm-hmm. The important part is Apple's HomeKit is a really secured environment, whereas, and that's really kind of what Apple's all about, is making your privacy, your security is kind of a top priority here, because we have had incidents, you know, not us, but there have been other products out there where you've heard like baby monitors have been hacked and things of that nature. So Apple's made sure that we got these secured quite nicely.
Yeah, I've a little bit more to add to that security too, Seabass. If this is your first introduction to home automation, or you've sort of looked through the product range, you will notice that the price points on these products is quite a bit different.
They do.
The big difference between those products is that security.
Yeah.
And it is the fact that Apple are taking many more steps than other manufacturers to ensure that if it is going to integrate with your Apple products, that your data, your information, and all the things important to you are maintained. They're not compromised by introducing another piece of equipment. That also speaks to why Philips have a product called the Bridge, because that allows a middle piece of tech between your Apple products and the home automation to further cement your data and your personal information.
That's right.
Well.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next question. Fred's asked, if the power goes out, do I need to reprogram everything?
Not usually. I have had that power go out at my home, but out of the 2 or 3 times that it's happened at mine, the devices come back online. And one of the things that happens when we pair a HomeKit device is they get linked to your home account, right? So, or sorry, the HomeKit app. So let's say I've got the camera. I have that connected to the wall, and that's running my security. If the power does go out, that product does get, it does get powered off. When the power does come back on, it powers up and it finds the original HomeKit. Because again, when you noticed at the beginning, when I paired the accessory to HomeKit, that accessory is now only available and working with that device, or this home in particular. And if you do have to reset a device, most of the Eve product lines are actually pretty good. They have a button on it that will reset the device. You can repair it, and it's not too bad. I've had to do that maybe once or twice with an Eve Flare because I ran out of battery entirely on a few of them. So, but for the most part, once you get the juice back on them, they do find their way back to the device.
Thanks, Seabass. Another great question from Mike. So a follow-up to the Siri question, would NFC tags easily work with these lights, cams, to tap your phone and make things happen?
No, I have, to my knowledge, I have not seen an NFC do that type of device, or sorry, that type of setup before. However, because your, if you ever look on your phone or on your iPad, there is an iCloud feature. And let's see if I can get that back on. Now, this particular iPad isn't set up for iCloud in the traditional sense. Just gonna get out of the home app here for a moment, and we're gonna go to our setup here. In iCloud, there will be a section down here, right there where it says home. If you have the home app turned on in your iCloud on that particular device, that means that the home app is aware of your phone or your watch or an iPad. Meaning that if you, for example, when I come home, because my phone is set up with HomeKit and it has this particular switch turned on, when I get home, the rest of my devices are aware that my phone has come in the building or it's starting to connect to our network, and it then turns on whatever I want it to. So it's kind of acts like an NFC in that regard, but it's not like, you know, a little AirTag or something like that. You just kind of click, or a device like that, that you just tap and go. Really, the thing to do with that is to use the phone or the watch or your home app to just turn those devices on or off.
Awesome. Yeah, no, great answer. Thank you, Seabass. So there's no longer any questions in the thread here. So we do have a couple of minutes left. So if there's anything on the tip of your tongue, please do not hesitate to put it in there. Otherwise, we will talk amongst ourselves, give you some time, and then we'll maybe conclude today's webinar. Just a reminder, And for everyone that's attended today, we will be doing a draw for a number of different Eve products. We're going to draw each one individually, so it's relatively modest attendance today, which is wonderful for you all because it does increase your potential win rate. So we've got the Eve Energy there. We've got the Eve Flare, 2 of those to give away, and the Eve camera valued at $280. We've got the Eve Light Strip. So yeah, please, if you do see an email from seminar@simply.ca, it does mean that you are a winner today. And what we'll be doing is we'll be sending it to your local Simply store for collection. So please do respond. Oh, well done, Kathy. Kathy's got a question for us. Does Eve have lights that come on when the power fails? Great question, Kathy.
No,
I don't believe they do either, from my knowledge.
the only, no, I can't say they do. That would be a kind of a cool product though. That would be kind of set up with automations, but if the power goes out, the products are kind of off. There was only one other Eve product that might. No, that's not going to do it. If the power goes off, these devices are off. Because there is an Eve camera that does have a light and a camera that can be at your front porch like that as well, for more of an outdoor camera. We got a few of those too.
Nice. Thanks, Seabass. And another question from Brad here. Can the light strip be set up to be controlled by HomeKit and a manual switch? So either can turn it off.
That you can. There's a couple, sorry, you said the Eve one, correct? So
actually just light strips.
Okay.
Question. Yeah.
So light strips, as far as the Philips Hue product line is concerned, Philips makes a little, oh, let me just kind of get that off. Stop share. There we are. Can you see me now?
Yeah.
This is the Hue light switch, and this can be set up with HomeKit to automate them as well. So you can turn things on and off. But with HomeKit, there's 3 buttons on it, and you basically get to decide which scene gets added to this. So if you wanted to, hey, good morning, you click the top one. For the middle one, I'm leaving. And for the bottom, it could be something else. But the big part is that you can use this. The Eve light strips and the Philips light strips can be controlled in here as well. And just kind of see here. This up. There we go. So you'll notice here that I've got a light strip. Hey Siri, shut off the big light. So
On it.
the just underneath here.
A while to respond.
Yep. Just underneath here, we've got the light strip from Eve and Hue. Sorry, Eve and Philips. And you can adjust the lighting color. You can adjust the lighting brightness by just saying, hey, Siri, turn down the lights 50%. And you'll see that the strip and all the lights in here as well. Hey, Siri, turn the Eve light. Sorry, turn the lights all the way up.
On it.
And if you do stutter,
Your lights are taking a while to respond.
of course they are. Hey, Siri, turn on the lights. Yeah. Awesome. So those will all pop on usually as well.
Your lights are taking a while to respond.
Yeah. But yes, they do. All right. So that's all we got today, folks. I'm going to turn it over. One more thing to add. We do in-homes, and we do in-store one-on-ones. Additionally, yeah, pop on in and you can book online and book in here as well. And we also do have those Eve products on for 25% off till the 26th. So it's while supplies last there, guys. Come on in and have a look. Additionally, you can come in the room here and test some of the stuff out for yourself as well. Thanks a bunch. And we say, guys, that's a wrap.
Thank you, Seabass.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks again, and thanks for joining us, guys.
Awesome. And just a reminder, watch out for your emails. For the prize winners, we'll be reaching out via email, and we will be scheduling our next seminar shortly. So keep an eye on the newsletter. We'll have more from the Simply Sisters. If you have any ideas of seminars that you would like, please email us at seminar@simply.ca.
Seminars, not seminars.
So yeah, please do. Either myself or Seabass will respond. But we're always open to ideas. We create this content for our customers to engage with. So please let us know what you want to know, and we'll do our best to deliver it. Thanks, everyone.
Take care.
Thank you. Happy long weekend.